When I walk into classrooms with the smartboard technology, with computers everywhere around the room, when you'd look at a group of 14 and 15-year-olds, you know in their pocket they have their BlackBerries. This modern classroom can either be very, very daunting and say, it really scares me, how do I keep it out of here? Or, as some of our teachers are doing, becoming rich places of engagement for learners.
I like the idea of smartboards in the classroom because it does create more interaction. It also brings an element of rigor and relevance.
What I call the smartboard is an interactive chalkboard.
Students, teachers can facilitate information by having the students come up and touch the smartboard and interact with a lesson plan.
We did a lesson on digestion, and we pulled up a website with a cartoon digestive system, and the piece of food went through the whole digestive system. The students were able to come up to the smartboard and press it and zoom in on each part of the digestive system. They were paying attention. They were not just watching, but they were totally engaged. They wanted a turn to come up. They wanted to raise their hand and participate. I think it's completely the way of the future. We're using a song in French to teach French language and music at the same time. The recording program that we're using is so fascinating because they can sing together as a group, re-record, sing again over top, and then listen.
Did you hear that was happening when we were doing it all together? It's hard when we're singing.
It's really fun because you can do it like whatever song you want on it, and it works.
That's just one program that we use with the smartboard. You can even do things such as when you're incorporating new words or teaching new vocabulary, things that they want to participate in and they want to learn because they want their turn up at the smartboard. I don't ever want to work in a classroom without one again.
I think that ePortfolios help almost every kid in the class because I think technology is really appealing to most kids.
When I use technology, it's great because it's a way for me to get out my ideas better.
ePortfolios are an innovative and creative way for kids to show what they know, for them to feel proud of what they've accomplished, but also for them to take a look at areas in which they need to make improvements and put together an action plan for how they're going to get there for the next term.
When I was in grade 6, I'll admit it, my grades weren't all that good, it was kind of average, but when I came to this school and we started learning in a different way and we reflected, which is the metacognition, it really, my marks just shot way up, which was really nice to see. And the metacognition helps you because you kind of reflect back on what you did, and it helps you not only see the good things, but it helps you see areas you need to improve in so you can work on that next time.
I'm an ENTJ, which stands for Extrovert, Intuitive, Thinker, and a Judger.
The online surveys in which they get to know more about themselves, their strengths, as well as their personality, as well as what we call our work preference survey, those are a really important part of the ePortfolio.
I'm an extrovert, so I like to go to people with my problems. I don't keep it all in. So these people make better politicians.
The personality surveys, whether they know they're introverted or extroverted, allows us to be able to set up groupings a little easier. The teaching goal behind it is for kids to take responsibility for their own education. It's the gradual release from teacher to student. When kids are able to recognize their areas that they need to improve or their deficits, that can be a huge benefit to both specifically me as a teacher because it helps me program better for them. Sometimes it can have an effect on their psyche a little bit, but I think that's our job as teachers to give them enough resources to say, look, if this is an area where you're a little weaker in, here's what we can do to help you. But everybody has those.
I think he sees us for who we really are. He respects us, and of course Mr. Tamlin is amazing, and he always gets us going in different things that he knows that we will like, so we're more interested.
What we discovered was in our board, students with high needs are actually using assistive technology that's accessible only to them on the computer. And so what we thought was, what happens if you take that technology and hook it up to the smartboard and make it available for whole group instruction? And for our students with augmentative and alternative communication needs, or those kids that are nonverbal that previously would have had a hard time accessing a chalkboard can now use their assistive technology to respond and to participate in the same lesson.
Care, it's at the heart of what we do.
Children often say to me, I don't care what you know until I know that you care.
Whether you're a 4-year-old in a kindergarten class or you're a 28-year-old adult learning program, if they believe and understand the teacher cares for me, major things can happen.
As a board, we believe it's essential to have school cultures where they're very respectful and caring environments. In my role as principal of School and System Success, I've been able to work with several school principals to help integrate a variety of tools into their practice. One tool is a school culture scan that allows us to take a snapshot to find out where we are now with regard to the school culture and where we need to go. It helps to identify those areas that need to be improved upon and helps us to direct our energies and our supports in those areas. Students are able to indicate if there's a sense of belonging within their school, if, for example, they're feeling safe, if they're connected to other students. As well, they're able to indicate if they feel that they have an advocate for their learning, both at home and at the school as well. Also, another tool that we're using throughout many of our schools is a student survey called Tell Them From Me, and this is a survey tool that allows us to hear the student voice and to adjust our programs and our practices based on the input that they provide.
We know that life circumstances at times get in kids' ways and take them off of that trajectory for either the graduation or the planned pathway. And the Michelangelo project is all about helping kids get back onto the trajectory to get to that 90%. We track at a system level about 1,000 students a year that are Michelangelo students that have been identified through our schools. There are tough stories out there, and those tough stories bring tears to my eyes because some of those tough stories, when they become success, they mean a huge difference to those individual families for lifetimes.
I think what the Champions for Kids Foundation has done by becoming the soul of this beautiful organization is understanding that we have to look after our kids. When they have something really neat to look forward to outside of their life, it makes a very strong and meaningful connection to what's going on in their classroom.
So you're organizing your thoughts?
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
When a principal and a school organize all of their activities around an agenda of deep care, then we know they're probably going to get at their goals.
We put a number of interventions into place and make sure that we look at each student individually. We assess each student for their needs as well as their challenges and their strengths. We have an early intervention class in our school which is for kindergarten to grade 3. We have a nutrition program at our school whereby we ensure that all of our students have access to nutritional snacks. All of our classes, they get a basket every morning that have things like fruit and cheese.
My day begins here at school by preparing a nutritious breakfast for about 8 students who are in the early intervention class. A great start for kids that just need a little extra to begin their day, and it also provides a great opportunity to model and reinforce social skills for these students.
How's that? Good.
And just to socialize in a very relaxed manner with our students and to make sure they start their day in a very positive way.
And I did your tickets for you.
That's what I find, teamwork, you know. Everybody's trying to help everybody. Like in this school alone, I'm not the custodian, I'm part of the staff, if you know what I'm saying. And that makes everybody work harder to help everybody else.
Our custodian, Mr. Shaver, has been in the building for quite some time, and he has an excellent rapport with the students, and they love him. And actually, he is one of our interventions.
There's a lot of kids that come and tell me a lot of things that they won't tell their parents and they won't tell the teacher, but they'll come and talk to me about it. And I try to smooth it over or go to the proper channels to get things rectified.
When we have a student who's having a difficult day and just needs a body break or a time away from the class to to regain some success, we'll go to Mr. Shaver and say, you know, can this little guy hang out with you for an hour? And the kids love it.
I kind of take them under my wing, and they come along with me and help me a little bit with what I do. And I always have a little talk with them too, for the trouble that they're getting into and why they're getting into it. And then if they behave themselves for the rest of that month, then kind of reward them with a little bit of a Burger King lunch, and then they get to sit in my office and pretend they're big shots. You know? If you're going to nurture a child and bring the child up to want to learn and to be excited about school and want to graduate and so on, you got to come down to their level. Like if it's a 2-foot child, come down to 2 feet. Get on your knees if you have to, but look them straight in the eye and never lie to them. Like if you're going to promise them something, keep the promise.
It's important to get a high school diploma because then you can get a good job and you can work harder and get more money to pay your taxes.